Okay, so I'll continue. I had a little bit of another interruption, so I will move on. Where was I? I was here. I was talking about showing a compelling slide. Now you know how to do it. So let's go with the next one. Tease but don't give away. Okay, teasing and not giving away is a simple thing. You talk about your topic, but you don't show the main idea until later. Um, it's a very simple thing to do. The idea is to try to keep your audience engaged and waiting for that moment. And when you do it, that would be a revelation moment. Okay. The other one is, oh no, and that's it. So what are the 4 ways I just said? Deliver a dose of drama, ignite curiosity, show a compelling slide, video, or object, and tease but don't give away. Anything that you do has to generate impact and be interesting. Could be funny, could be dramatic, but it has to catch the attention of your audience from the beginning. If you don't, you're losing their attentions and you're losing points. Okay? I said it before and I'm saying it again. It is your decision to say, no, I'm going to start with one phrase. I have one question. I'm just going to say, hello, classmates and professors. You will have the lowest possible score in introduction. You need to create a good introduction. All right? Okay. Now I'm going to move to closure. So how do you close presentations? It's just as important as the introduction. If you have a bad conclusion, you have almost a bad presentation. Okay? So I'm going to give you what are the things that you're not supposed to do. Well, my time is gone, so I'll wrap up that. Okay? We don't care that your time is up. That just means that you were bad in your planning. Okay? You did not estimate your time correctly. I would like to thank. Nobody cares who you want to thank. All right? Do not go name dropping. The future is full of opportunities. Let's dream together and make a difference. Actually, that is not that bad. This is a dreamscape. But what they're saying here is that do not go too cliche or too cheesy. Do not sound fake. Okay, that's what we want to say. You can do a dreamscape, but try to make it as natural and as normal as possible. Look at this video that will summarize that. No video. All right, you may not finish your presentation with video. Never. These videos work for the beginning and for the middle, never for the end. Because think about it. I mean, you finish with a video, and then what? You stand up and you say, "By the way, the presentation is over." You know what I mean? You have to end with you. You are the one who has to say the last words, and then say thank you and get people clapping for you. Are there any questions? Not in this format. No. If you start having a conversation with your audience in the end, then you're not concluding properly. My organization can fix problems, so I have the solution for this. Just give me a call. No, people hate sales pitch, right? That was my presentation. That means you're not closing. You know, you're in the middle and just ran out of things to say. That's not a bad thing. And there's one I did not write here: the improvisation. Do not improvise your conclusion. I can tell. Actually, everybody can tell. And this is a very common thing. You go like, okay, I'm just gonna mention this and that, and then in the presentation you start improvising some things that are coming to your mind. Most of people in the audience can tell when you don't know what to say and you're just improvising. I can tell even better because this is what I do for a living. If you start improvising, I'm going to give you the lowest possible grade that you can get in a conclusion. All right. So what can you do? I'm going to give you 7 ways to end with power. Number 1, a camera pullback. A camera pullback. Okay, here's an example that they do a camera pullback in the end. A camera pullback is the name is a bit confusing because it has nothing to do with the camera. All right, let me explain as quick as possible. In filmmaking, there's a movement of the camera that we call a camera pullback. That is when you have an object, say for example a computer, and the camera is very close to the computer. And then they start moving the camera back. So as the camera goes further and further, you get to see more of the room, right? You get to see the table, you get to see the wall, you get to see the room and the objects and all of that little by little. This movement is called a camera pullback. Now, in public speaking, a camera pullback is you are talking about an idea, and then you mention many of the topics in the idea. And when you're in the end, you start describing the implications of that message in everything, okay? You start mentioning it's going to affect this, it's going to affect that, it's going to affect the other thing. And it's like doing a pullback, meaning now you can see the bigger picture, okay? Okay, next one. Number 2, a call to action. This is simple. You tell your audience to do something, okay? We're talking about recycling. You finish by saying, you can make the difference. Recycle. Don't use plastic bags. Don't do this. Don't throw bags to the ocean. Don't throw trash to the, etc., etc., etc. Okay? You're asking them to do something. Then you have the personal commitment. That is, you're not asking them to do something. You are promising that you're going to do something. Okay? For example, this is one. Diana Miad, she promised that she would swim from Florida to Cuba, from Cuba to Florida, right? She did it in a presentation, and then she actually did it. There's also values and vision. This is a fantastic. I may have shown you this TikTok, but I don't remember. Every kid needs a champion. A champion by Rita Pearson. This is a fantastic presentation, and if I haven't shown it to you, I will. Values and vision means you finish with, let's say, values that are obvious to everyone, right? You mention things that we all know that they are right. So you remind people, this is the right thing to do. This is what should happen. And then people can imagine a better world based on those values. You can do a satisfying encapsulation. This is my favorite. Okay? You saw satisfying encapsulation when you saw Inside of the Mind with Master Procrastinator. Okay? When he finishes with the life calendar, okay? And he says there are not that many boxes. You can see that. And you can see that he's encapsulating his thought. All this time he's been talking about deadlines and procrastination. And right there you look at the boxes and you say, yeah, I should not be procrastinating. So there's a sense of satisfaction in you. There's a sense of reflection and consideration in the audience. In this case, this one, I will show it to in class. It's a fantastic way of finishing a presentation. You encapsulate your talk and you say something that is satisfying for your audience. Another one is the narrative symmetry. This is a simple one. You start with a story, with something, and then you finish with that same thing. For example, you start a story, you start your presentation by telling a story when you were a child. You say, oh, when I was a child, I did this and this and this and that. Then you start your presentation, you mention another thing, you go to the main topic, and then in the end, you say, and this is what happened when I was a child. I did this and this and that, and I learned. You see? You remind people of the beginning, and now they feel a sense of satisfaction in the end. Next, the lyrical inspiration. All right, so this one is very close to something that could be done wrong, because this is also the dreamscape. And this is using phrases that makes people feeling inspired. This one is very specific with the words you choose. You choose words that sound inspiring, that sound attractive. Of course, without being cliche or cheesy. And then that's it. There are 7. You have the camera pullback, the call to action, the personal commitment, values and vision, satisfying encapsulation, and narrative symmetry, and lyrical inspiration. Okay? So I'm giving you a bunch of different ways to finish a presentation. You may not finish a presentation by just saying, and that's it, or by improvising. Okay? If you do that, you will get the worst possible grade. Anything that generates impact in your audience, make them laugh, make them feel sad, make them feel interested, make them feel curious. And that's how you have to finish a presentation. You have to explore your own creativity and find good ways to end. All right? And finally, there's one more thing. Say thank you. Okay? It's the only and best way to finish a presentation. You just walk to your chair and sit down. People don't know what to do. Say thank you, but don't only say thank you. Say it loud with confidence, strong. You say thank you very much. You wait for people to clap and then you sit down. Don't do the thank you, I'm escaping thing that sometimes people do. They say they look down and they say that's it, thank you, and then sit down, shy of or like if you were to if you feel that an urgency to leave the stage, so you want to run, so you say, okay, thank you, and you go. And people, they do a weak clap, all right? They applause this week, all right? So with confidence, thank you, people clap, you sit down, all right? That's it. Move on to the next, move on to the quiz.